الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ومن يرغب عن ملة إبراهيم إلا من سفه نفسه ولقد اصطفيناه في الدنيا وإنه في الآخرة لمن الصالحين إذ قال له ربه أسلم قال أسلمت لرب العالمين صدق الله العظيم. Respected elders, dear brothers and sisters, ayat number 130 of Surat al-Baqarah the rabat and connection of this ayah or these ayat with the previous ayat is that the main mawdu', the main bayan, the main discussion, the main subject matter is the qissa and story of Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam. Particularly when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala selected Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam and made him an imam of mankind. Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he made a dua for his children to also be given this status to be the leaders of mankind as far as the spiritual sense is concerned, or the spiritual world is concerned. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam that privilege of being imam, the privilege of being a leader in the spiritual sense, and being leaders and role models so that people may follow them, this privilege will not be extended to those who do dhulm and oppression. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then commanded Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam to build the Kaaba, the Baytullah. When Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, he laid down the foundations of the Kaaba Baytullah with his son Sayyidina Ismail alayhi salam. At that time they made a dua which was mentioned in the previous 3 ayat, a very, very lengthy and beautiful dua. Coming to ayat number 130, there are a few points that need to be made very, very clear. When it comes to leadership, there are particular qualities that are required. When it comes to imam, and this is not just like the imam that may lead us in salah, but actual leaders who have an established position. There are particular qualities they must possess, particular qualities they must have. And there are a set of rules that they must follow. And so long as they follow those rules and have those qualities, so they will maintain that position as being leaders of the people. But whenever they lose those qualities, or they do not maintain that position, maintain those qualities in their lives, then that position will also be taken from them. Throughout history, even in the previous adyan, in the previous religions, going all the way back to our father, Sayyidina Adam alayhi salam, going all the way back to the very first human beings in human history, there was always leaders in the spiritual world. People who are imam, who are role models. They left behind uswatun hasana, beautiful lifestyle, a beautiful system of life. And they were role models for the people. But there were some innate qualities they had. They were built into them. These qualities are mentioned in the ayat of the Quran in multiple places. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us some of these qualities in different formats. We will try to go over and compile these qualities so that we may understand. We live in a very different time, in a very strange time. And this modern time, particularly 2020, going back even 2 years, with the advancement of the internet and all of these different systems within the internet, the Google and YouTube and the social media platforms, there are many people who have kind of, in a sense, claim to be the leaders of the people, where in reality they don't possess the required qualities to be the leaders of the people. And this has become a very unfortunate truth and an unfortunate reality. And in this time of confusion, when people don't know the required qualities or the demanded qualities of a leader, what qualities a leader should possess, when people don't know what an imam or a leader is, so then they'll accept anyone and everyone as a leader. There's a famous saying, in the land of the blind, one-eyed man is king. Which means when the majority of the people don't know what an imam is, what a leader is, so someone who may claim something or show some way as if they are some leader, so everyone will accept them as a leader, without really understanding what an imam is, what a true leader is. Just to go over some of these qualities of an imam. There are some inborn gifts that a person must have. These are gifts that are inborn. They're gifts from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're natural. They're not something you can learn. They're not something you can acquire. Yes, the person who's born with those gifts, they can build those gifts and make them much more. They can exercise those gifts and make them more than what they are. One of those gifts, and we'll just go over some of those. There's innate gifts, and then there are qualities that a leader should acquire. The natural gift of a leader, first and foremost, is their personal disposition that they're able to have in any crowd. They should have a natural dominance. This is not something you can learn. This is not something you can study. You can go read up on it. They try and explain what this dominance is, but just in natural, in a very, very natural way. If that person is in a group, even if some foreign person comes, even some random person is passing by that group, everyone should be able to realize that that person is the person everyone is listening to. Just the natural disposition, the natural sense that this person carries, the aura that this person gives off, is that in a group, naturally this person should stand out as if he's a leader. It has nothing to do with the way the person may dress or the way the person may be. No, it's just natural. They have many different names for it. The alpha used to be a term used for wolves. When you have a pack of wolves, one is the alpha wolf, the leader of the pack. Naturally, people know who that leader is. This kind of a term that is also applied inside groups in any society. So there's always that one person that stands out. This aura is so powerful and so strong that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this to all of his anbiya alayhim salam, to all of his prophets and messengers. It was with this quality, this innate built-in quality, that even before they started their da'wah, before they were given the mission of their prophethood, naturally in the society, people used to look at them as leaders. People had great hopes from them. Our beloved Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, even before he was given his mission of prophethood at the age of 40, even before that, he displayed this quality. In the society, he was naturally known as someone that everyone would consider that it one day will come where he will be a leader. And he displayed throughout his lifetime, even before Nubuwwah and prophethood, before his mission of prophethood began. He showed on many, many occasions his ability at being a leader, where even the Quraysh leaders used to come to him and even consult with him. So this is a natural gift. One of the most famous incidents is also in the case of Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam, when he had to face Fir'aun. Fir'aun also had this. You have to understand, this gift has very little to do with somebody being righteous or not. Even there are people who are wicked and evil, they have this also. A natural disposition, and when you stand with them, they can dominate. They have a very dominating persona. So even those that may be wicked and evil, they also have this. They dominate the people around them. And that dominance is so powerful that all the people around them, they just naturally feel obliged to follow. Fir'aun had this also. Pharaoh. His people were ready to listen to him regardless of how foolish his ideas were. And throughout the world, even in today's world, we have many leaders that have that. They're very dominating. They have very ridiculous ideas. They have such ideas that even the experts claim that if you were to follow some of those ideas, they can kill you. But because of their dominating persona, no one can say anything to them face to face. So this is a dominating quality. It's not something you can learn. It's not something you can study. It's not some course you can take to get it. It's just natural. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this dominating quality to Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam as well. And it was so strong, Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave it to him with so much strength that Sayyidina Musa alayhi salam was able to stand in front of Fir'aun and dominate over Fir'aun. Just with that persona, with this unique personal gift of dominance. To those who are not familiar with that gift, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes, it seems that those that have this natural gift, on some occasions they may seem as if they're being rude or they're being harsh. But that is just their natural disposition. That's just how they are naturally. So this is the first gift, a natural gift that leaders have. It's a dominance in their group, dominance wherever they go. No matter how hard they try, it's not something that they don't even know. Another thing that is unique about some of the innate qualities that they have, if someone tells them about it, they don't even realize they have it. And that's one thing about innate qualities, is everyone else may notice it, this person may not really notice it that much. Just to point that out also, someone may tell him that, everyone is looking at you like this and everyone is saying this about you. The person himself would be like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Because it's not something they try. It's not something you're aware of all the time. Also naturally, many times, in many situations, these type of people may come off as if they're arrogant, when in reality they may have no arrogance at all. Sometimes this happens many a times with our mashayikh and leaders. In certain situations, they act in a certain way where people feel that this person is arrogant. But deep down inside, when you get to know the shuyukh and you get to know them, even the Anbiya alayhim salam, the prophets and messengers, sometimes they used to come off so strong. And those who didn't really know them very well would start to think as if they had arrogance. They did not have arrogance. But they came off in such a strong manner. Those who are not familiar with that felt as if this may have been an arrogant action when it was not an arrogant action. Certain situations, certain conditions demand that a person shows strength. They show resolve. They show strength and power and resolve. And the only way to come off with that resolve and that strength is that to those around, it may seem as if the person is showing some kind of arrogance or is being strong and stern. So this is a very, very normal phenomena you'll find. Even in the lives of many, many of our mashayikh and elders, people will comment about them that this person was kind of arrogant or this person had an aura of arrogance, but they did not have arrogance. The situation demanded that they act like that, even though they did not mean in any way to be like that. But in that moment, in that condition, in that situation, in that scenario, that was the only way to act in order to dominate the situation and bring about a change in whatever was happening. The reason I'm mentioning this is because many a times we find people speak ill of some of the mashayikh and elders and shuyukh when they don't realize why the shuyukh did certain things or said certain things or mentioned certain things in a certain way. So people who don't understand this quality or don't really understand the depth of this particular gift, often at time they feel that the person is being rude or arrogant or whatever other things may come to their minds. And shaitan, he has a unique way of twisting those ideas inside people's minds. Be very, very careful what you think of the awliyaullah, what you think of the shuyukh and the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't let shaitan stir up ideas in your mind about them that may lead you to thoughts that are sinful. Inna ba'd al-dhanni ism. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Inna ba'd al-dhanni ism, that some of these thoughts are sinful. You should not let shaitan entertain those kind of thoughts to such a degree where he casts doubts in your hearts about some of the mashayikh and elders, especially if they're famous for being righteous and pious and being muttaqeen. We should not let shaitan put those kind of thoughts and then fester those thoughts and grow those thoughts, that we start to develop some kind of dislike or hatred towards a friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because what happens with these kind of thoughts is shaitan, he keeps entertaining those thoughts and keeps focusing on those thoughts so much that the person develops a nafra, a kind of dislike, and then develops hatred towards some of the awliyaullah. And this is happening in our society. Some of the youth, they feel as if when they go to the masajid that the mashayikh are not nice to them, or the mashayikh are not. The reason is because these youth have not taken the time out to sit with those mashayikh. The youth have not taken time out to get to know those mashayikh, to get personal and become friends with those mashayikh. Once you get to know those mashayikh, they're some of the nicest people you'll ever meet in your life. But by the time you enter into the masjid, the first thing shaitan does, he puts in your mind, oh, look how mean he looks. Oh, look how angry he is. Oh, look how... Shaitan starts putting these thoughts in the mind. And all of a sudden, shaitan makes you build an enmity and an animosity against those shuyukh. Now a person inside naturally becomes an enemy of those mashayikh. There's a very particular hadith about this. That Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala says, hadith qudsi, that whosoever becomes an enemy of my friends, adantuhu bil harb, I announce war against that person. So be very, very careful in making those thoughts turn into your actions, where you start developing hatred or enmity against the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But this is the natural disposition of those shuyukh. And the best thing for us to do is to seek out their company, be in their company, get to know them on a very personal level. You'd be surprised how they act and how they react in certain situations. And those are very, very great lessons for us to learn from. That's one thing, the natural disposition. The second quality of mashayikh, which is an inborn gift, and this is actually a gift that someone can acquire over a long period of time, but it comes from taqwa, from the fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That when a person develops a certain level of taqwa, a certain level of righteousness, the gift is there, but it only comes out when a person reaches a certain level of taqwa, a certain level of fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Is that they get a gift known as firasa, which is far-sighted. They're able to see things on a very different level than everyone else will see. They'll see outcomes nobody even pays attention to, or nobody even notices. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam has told us in a hadith, اتقوا فراسة المؤمن فإنه ينظر بنور الله. وكما قال عليه الصلاة والسلام. That fear the firasat of a believer. Firasat, they translate different terms, inner wisdom or deep far-sightedness, very deep understanding. There's different terms for it. So fear the firasat of a believer, the inner wisdom and the deep wisdom and the far-sightedness of the believer. Really fear that. فَإِنَّهُ يَنْظُرُ بِنُورِ اللَّهِ, because he sees things with the nur of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They're able to see things that are not normally seen, or many a times are overlooked. So you'll have a group of people doing something and they'll be trying to encourage everyone to do that. But then you'll find the mashayikh, they'll take a different stand. That's not one occasion, not two occasions, how many examples I can give you, but the mashayikh will take a totally different stand. And many a times the mashayikh will not really care for someone to influence their decision. They'll just do what they're doing and that's it. At that moment, everyone will be arguing with that shaykh or that friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that what you're doing is wrong, or it may even seem something wrong. We need to do this and we need to do that. But the mashayikh have a unique gift, and which is also a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that they're able to understand situations at a much deeper level than those that do not have that gift. So they will act and react in a certain way that will make people feel like this person is not with the majority, or this person is not following everyone, or this person sometimes does things without asking, or doesn't really listen, does his own thing. Later on, once that situation is past, those conditions have passed, decisions were made, much later, it becomes very clear that what that sheikh did, or what that friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did, that was the right move, or that was the right decision. And everyone else made a mistake. Doesn't mean that everyone else was wrong. They made a mistake. And that shaykh or that friend of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saw things that the rest of the people didn't see. This is also taken from the Quran, from Surah Yusuf. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a very beautiful way has explained this quality. The brothers of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, they threw him in a well and they did many things to cause harm to Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, their brother. But everything that they were doing, along with that, they involved their father, Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam. And what's amazing about that story, for those who have studied Surah Yusuf in depth, is that almost from the very beginning, when the brothers tried to harm Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam, they even came to their father asking to send Yusuf alayhi salam with them. You'll be surprised by the words of Sayyidina Yaqub alayhi salam, how he was explaining to the brothers that I know something about you that you don't even know about yourselves. And he knew that they were planning something. When they asked to take Yusuf alayhi salam with them, Yaqub alayhi salam, he was reluctant. He was saying that I'm afraid that some wolves will eat him. Some wolves will come and eat Yusuf alayhi salam, and you people will be busy with something else. And the brother said, how can wolves eat him? How will wolves will eat him and we're there? And they were kind of arguing and debating to take Yusuf alayhi salam with them. But from that dialogue, from the very beginning of Surah Yusuf, I want to be surprised how deep the wisdom of Yaqub alayhi salam was. And even before that dialogue was the dream of Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam. Sayyidina Yusuf alayhi salam related his dream to his father Yaqub alayhi salam. So Yaqub alayhi salam told Yusuf alayhi salam, do not relate this dream to anyone else. Do not relate this dream to your brothers even. Shaitan has a unique way of bringing enmity between you. So it goes to show the deep wisdom that Yaqub alayhi salam, he was gifted with. It's mentioned from the very beginning of Surah Yusuf. And throughout Surah Yusuf, you can see that wisdom in display. You can see that firasat in display. How Yaqub alayhi salam was acting and reacting in different situations. There are many beautiful lessons to be taken from Surah Yusuf. But particularly the actions of Yaqub alayhi salam in these situations made it very clear how the gift of firasat works, which is also a quality that is kind of demanded from someone who may be given that unique position. Inshallah, we'll go much more in detail related to more of these qualities. What are the qualities of Imam and what are the qualities of our spiritual leaders and our mashayikh? Inshallah, in the coming days. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us understanding and give all of us the tawfiq to practice His deen. وَمَا عَلَيْنَا إِلَّا الْبَلَاغِ. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك. اللهم وفقنا لما تحب وترضى. اللهم نور قلوبنا بالقرآن وزين أخلاقنا بالقرآن ونجنا من النار بالقرآن وادخلنا في الجنة بالقرآن. اللهم اجعل القرآن لنا في الدنيا قرينا وفي القبر مونسا وعلى الصراط نورا وفي الجنة رفيقا ومن النار سترا وحجابا. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين.